Warning: the following program contains world premier certified ball players, incredible interviews, latest, hottest content material, may not be suitable for people with the following medical condition: original phobia, acute player hater disorder, no jumper, no handles, allergic to playing defense. If you suffer from any of these conditions, contact your coaching staff.
3 minutes to go. Give it up, get it back, and make a poster.
Welcome to License to Ball podcast, where certified ballers play. And now here's your host, Hip Hop.
I want to welcome everybody to License Ball Podcast. Got something been on my front of my brain, man. Front of my brain. Caleb Wilson. A lot of people ain't talking about it, but I've been looking at it, and I think he's having a great year. And we so used to players come out of Georgia. So I don't know if he's underappreciated or underappreciated or appreciated just right. And his rankings correct or whatever. That's what we're going to be talking about on the License Ball Podcast today. I got my man Alfonso coming in from baseline to sideline. I hope I got it right that time, but when he come on the show, he'll correct me when he get on here and let me know, talk about it. Then I have added on a national guy that not from Georgia. He has an unbiased opinion, because my opinion is biased of Caleb. I can't help but I like the player, and so I can't evaluate him exactly how I need to evaluate him. So we have Evan Tums from NBA.net going to be on and giving his opinion and his scouting report on him too. So, but we're going to have up first. We're going to have Fonz come up first. We're going to introduce him and bring him in and chop it up. He's been watching the kid play longer than I have, so when I came back to the scene from having my kid, he did a real good job on getting me caught up on a lot of the players, because I was like lost in the sauce. It was like when I first started Gymratinsider ever, because like, I'm going to give a short little story. When I started Gymratinsider, what I'm doing now, I never pictured doing this, because I was doing Scott.com. If y'all familiar with Scott.com, and I'm a real big Illinois fan. So I paid for the monthly subscription to get Illinois stories and all that stuff. Then I started noticing, like, they was talking about stories in Georgia. I was like, man, I could go check that out. They had a tournament. I didn't know nothing about, like, these real big high tournaments, all this stuff. So I'm looking at their website, and it's like around 07, 06. And I'm like, you know what? I could do the same thing for kids in Georgia. I wasn't thinking about leaving the state. I was actually thinking about leaving my county, actually. I was just going to cover the CCJBC. When I was going to rank the players in CBJBC, that's the Cobb County Basketball Junior Basketball League, one of the biggest basketball middle school leagues in the country, not in the state, in the country, where a lot of pros has came out and a lot of Division I basketball players. So at the time I had Damian Wilson, #1 player in Cobb County. He's like one of the best players in Georgia, so I kind of had it right. That's what I was doing. I was organizing and trying to build this up. And Gymratinsider just ballooned to now. So, I got the gift of gab. That's why I have a podcast. I kind of digress, but I just had a kind of a little bit of flashback. So a lot of people, that's how Gymratinsider started. I was like, man, I'm going to start doing this. And then I started realizing, man, it's players in DeKalb, it's players in Gwinnett, it's players all over Georgia. So I can't just limit it to that. And I wasn't even thinking about doing video at first. At all. I just want to know, I want to have a website, do rankings, and put up pictures and all that stuff. So appreciate y'all joining the show, and you can see it down at the bottom of the screen right there, Hip Hop. So if you see that and you just first time watching, that's my name on the show. See, it says host, so I make sure people won't mistake that at all on the bar down there. But I'm gonna stop talking because y'all came here to really listen to some expertise. Gotta know a whole lot, so we're gonna go and introduce Fonz and bring him in, and then introduce him to the show. Let me see if I got that. Yeah, here we go.
Hey, I'm just here so I don't get fined. So y'all can sit here and ask me all the questions y'all want to. I'm going to answer with the same answer, so y'all can shoot if y'all please. I'm here so I won't get fined. I'm here so I won't get fined.
Hey, welcome in, man.
What's up, hip hop, man? I appreciate you inviting me on tonight as usual, man, and being able to spread some hoop knowledge and speak some Georgia basketball with you.
Yeah, man, I talk too much. I'm looking at the timer on my TV. I don't know when I started it, but I at least been talking for 3 minutes. Wait, 3 minutes. I should only talk for about a minute and just brought you in, but man, I just started feeling the flow, man. I had to get out the system about Gymratinsider, about that, man.
I remember when you started it, so trust me, I get it.
On that, man. So it's the funniest thing. I kind of if it's a true. I hate saying it because it come off like conceited, and because I look, it just be when somebody come to me and say, "Hey, man, like the two questions I get, they're like, how long you been doing this for? A couple of years?" I just look at them sideways. I'm like, I was like, oh man, I got to do it to him. I can't help it. I got to do it to him. I said, dude.
Listen, I get it. I've been asked the same sometimes, and I kind of look at them like, I was like, I watch your favorite player's favorite player play in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been around this for a long time, just as you have. But before we get started, can you allow me to just share some imparting news here?
Yeah, go right ahead, man. What you got?
I don't know if people are aware. Let's go ahead and send out a prayer to the Appalachia High School community and the Winder community, because there was a school shooting today, and certainly prayers to all those who were involved, including the 14-year-old young man who was obviously the shooter. And I just want to say this. I want to say this to parents. I want to say this to kids and coaches all around. We got to handle these young people differently, and we got to mentor them, and we got to nurture into them. And they don't know it all, despite the fact that they say they know it all. But we need to somehow be able to get them some mental health stuff. And kids, if you're struggling with something, whether at home, and the thought crosses your mind of not being able to handle some things, and since we're in September, it's Suicide Prevention Month. But more importantly, just go get some help. Call 988 and make sure that we're able to, you're able to get some help, be able to resolve the solution, because unfortunately, an entire community was affected today, as well as some families. So prayers and thoughts to that entire community, and all those students, faculty, student athletes who are going to have their season disrupted right now, for at least a week. So certainly want to give my thoughts and prayers to them.
Yep. I want to add on. I want to piggyback off that. I kind of volunteer my services already, so anybody who don't know, my number's online. First of all, if you type in Gymratinsider and you don't see it on the first page, it's going to be on the second, guaranteed by the third page. So what I'm saying is, kids, you see me doing this thing, you see Fonz doing it. I'm pretty sure I can speak for him on this too. I might be a little bit, actually I won't, because I was going to say, if you call me at night, I might be a little bit like agitated at first when you pick the phone up and you need to talk, you need some help, but I actually work at night, so I'll be wide up awake, listen to what you have to say. So if you need any help, you need anybody to talk to, man, My number online, you can hit me up. You type Gymratinsider in the search, and my number will pull up. I saw some information online the other day. It was very disturbing about information found out about me. I didn't put it online. I don't know how I got that because some of the stuff I didn't. It had some updated stuff, and I know I didn't put that online. But you could find me. You can find him. Email, text, or DM. And we always here for you, man, because we doing this for the love of the kids, man. We doing this. It's a labor of love for us. That's why we're doing this stuff. Like, I'm about to go to bed and only sleep 4 hours. The average person wouldn't even do this podcast right now. They were like, nah, we're going to do it either earlier or give me some sleep. So that's what we do, man. So remember that, kids. We out here for you. Now, we're going to go in and, were you going to say something?
No, I just said absolutely. Let's go ahead.
We're going to go ahead and jump into this topic. Really for me, it's a personal thing I got to do on this, man. I'm gonna tell you my view, and then you come back off me and you tell me what I'm right or wrong, or you agree. Whatever off your, you know how we do it. Whatever, you just lay it on me. You're like, man, you damn right on that one. You spot on. Oh man, you gonna have to tweak your view on this one. So
I got you.
This how I feel. I think Caleb Wilson is getting the Georgia treatment. We had so many players come out of here that he can't be good as we see. Now, a lot of his moves he's been doing over years, I disagree with all of them. And I was wrong on all of them. He showed me. Thought he should stay here. Thought he should did this, not did that. So far, the kid been making every right move. So he has shown me and had me looking at basketball a different light. So I can't be critical of him. So he just been proving me wrong. But I think he's a number 2 player in the country. If he's not the number 2 player in the country, I really believe what I have seen in my evaluation, he's better than Boozer on the team. And the reason why I say that is he plays the whole floor. He's more versatile. I think he has a higher upside. I think Boozer is more polished. He can't help it. He got his dead there. So I'm not saying Boozer won't grow no more. I love Boozer game. Don't get me wrong. Both of them pros, both of them lottery picks in my personal opinion. But I think long-term, higher ceiling. And now, I think Caleb is a better player. I just think Boozer's is more polished. And then Knight Riders, I looked around because you got to play in neighboring states. So out of all the teams he could pick from, Knight Riders was the best one. Because I didn't really like him from Knight Riders because I think he's a ball-dominant person. But he's a ball-dominant person where it's in a positive way that you want the ball in his hand because he shares the wealth and see the floor and all that. So being on that team, he wasn't going to be able to showcase that. But I kind of was wrong on that because he played off the ball and showed everybody how he could be effective without the ball in his hand. So he proved me wrong on that one too once again. So I like that on that. So I'm going to shut my mouth and you go in and lay it on me.
Well, I mean, I personally wouldn't go. I mean, first of all, your points aren't completely off. Not like some of the other things you've said. But I'll certainly say this. AJ DeBosta, Carlos Boozer, Boozer, as well as Caleb Wilson. Certainly, you could shuffle the deck and there'd be any of the top 3 guys in the country. Okay. Now, with that being said, they can use it as click, but I would say AJ, Boozer, and then Wilson. Those are I would say my top 3.
Mm-hmm.
Here's why. The other 2, AJ, I didn't see much coming through the travel basketball world. I saw him as of the last year and a half. But Boozer, I actually watched since the 6th grade, or maybe even younger when I lived even in Florida. And they would talk about them kids and that group of kids. They were something down in the South Florida area. They weren't necessarily Knight Riders. And just watching them play, yeah, they were bigger And, you know, I was like, okay, depending on as they continue growing. And certainly, you do have the luxury of dad, but mom is the pit bull behind that organization, you know, and she did a great job pushing as well as nurturing, along with Carly, just to be able to nurture them young men the way they are. When I look at Boozer's game, it's certainly a game that translates to the NBA. Certainly a game that you can tell it's an NBA almost ready game. And every year he certainly has improved. Like, I can't wait till he gets to the NBA because I think he's going to be a real special talent. With that being said, however, I love Caleb Wilson. I enjoy everything that he does. I am more impressed with everything that he does off the ball than I am with everything that he does on the ball. So, certainly when you look at a young man like that, goes to Holy Innocents, shout out to Holy Innocents and my frat brother Mario Mays, he looks to get everyone involved. And at first you're thinking like, okay, he's at 6'6", just trying to push the ball around, trying to play a role, was able to get things cooking. But then when you see that a kid actually cares about the number of assists that they have in the game or the number of rebounds they have in the game. I mean, there was one time I saw a stat line that he had in high school that he had 8 points, 11 rebounds, and like 10 to 11 assists. You know, I'm sitting there going, dude, most kids would have did everything in their power to get that 10 points. And he just cared about, again, getting everyone involved and possibly winning. Then I had a chance to talk to him, and when you talk to him, he certainly has a baby-faced look, a mature response, and it kept getting stronger, kept getting more mature about who he is as a person. So there was one time I asked him what it was right again when he got invited to Jason Tatum camp, and after he came back from that, I asked him, I said, what was the difference? And he said, well, the things I got to work on is his body stuff, things that he learned there, like his body stuff, maturity stuff, his psyche. So then I started saying, like, okay, wait a minute, this wave is about to take off. You know, because it's one thing to be up on the shoreline and you got some waves, and it's another thing to be surfing the Big Kahuna out in Hawaii and big surf season, where he's sitting there and basically understanding what he's about to do. You know, and he works out with Swain, who had an excellent collegiate career, works out with Double Trouble, works out with a bunch of different guys. And then I saw something when they played for the state championship this past year. I knew there was still a level that he could go. You know, and there's still several levels, but if we're looking at the view from high school, he struggled with some things. Physicality, a little bit of bumping, you know, a lot of mental things that he needed to improve. I mean, I'm not saying anything that he probably doesn't know and that people haven't told him, right?
Yep.
They lose, okay? He's not with his team the entire summer in terms of Holy Innocents for the summertime. We know before the summer he joins Night Riders. Everybody is like, that's a terrible move. He should stay where he's going to get showcased, so on and so forth. And I initially, and I'll admit it, when I heard it, I snickered and then I stopped. Then I said, he's going to go over there and learn how to win. Somebody said, what you mean?
Great point.
I was like, he's going to learn how to win because that team was winning without him. That team was having success without him. Like that team, they added some pieces again this year, but it's because they lost 2 or 3 pieces from the previous year. So when you bring him, like you mentioned, a ball dominant guy, but then I said, no, his skills fits with that group because he doesn't have to handle the ball all the time. That was Caden Boozer.
Yep.
Right? He doesn't have to score the ball all the time. Cameron, excuse me. Then he doesn't have to rebound the ball because the entire team rebounds. But one thing that people aren't going to point out is he showcased something else.
Yep.
Off the ball on the other side of the court. He showed the ability to play effective defense. He did it during the high school season, but it's a small window. The national stage isn't paying attention. Nobody is looking at what he's doing. They're just looking for his numbers. If you're not at a game, you won't see how he affects a game because of his 6'10" frame. Okay,
yep.
His ability, his willingness to challenge shots, his willingness to deflect shots, his willingness to alter shots. Those are things that you don't see unless you're watching him in a full game. That when we mentioned that we saw him, I had to go looking. Well, people may not realize this, and again, go look it up. He was the name, the Nike EYBL Peach Jam Defensive MVP. Okay?
That's what's up.
Yes, he averaged 17 points a game. Yes, he averaged 7 rebounds a game. Yes, he averaged 2 assists a game. Okay, they went 8-0. But he also averaged 2.8 blocks a game, 1.9 steals a game. Again, on a team that already had its marquee guys, the Boozer twins. Everyone knows that. There was no hiccup, no mistake, no nothing. And the fact that he, again, went out and played, showed the ability to play with other high-level guys. Listen, he only probably attracted more attention from people, which is why, again, rumors started swirling. Because he wasn't with his team all summer. He wasn't with Holy Innocents all summer. And kudos to those kids at Holy Innocents, as opposed to waiting for him to show up for the Georgia high school live periods. They just went out and competed, and they won. So, and then here's what happened. In the process, since the school year, last basketball season ended, to the start of this one, which we're a month in, he's signed with Clutch. Okay, has a New Balance deal.
Yep.
Okay, and has been out to California to work out with some pros and a variety of other people and players, and also had a great summer. And guess what? He's back at Holy Innocents because everybody is saying, "Oh, he's not coming back."
Yep.
There's no way he's coming back.
Yep.
He's going to this school, that school, this school, that school. Okay. Yes, he could.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he came back, and again, I haven't spoken to the young man. I haven't spoken to the head coach, Coach Mays. But I think he came back to try to win.
Yes, he got unfinished business.
Excuse me?
Unfinished business. I think he got a sour taste in his mouth from that state championship game.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, and what are the rewards of it? Because again, even though he didn't play with them, he's narrowed his schools down to 12. That's Arkansas, Duke, North Carolina, Alabama, Central Florida, Georgia Tech, Auburn, Tennessee, Oregon, Kentucky, Ohio State, and Southern Cal.
I don't know why I don't get Illinois on the list.
Huh?
I don't know why he got Illinois on the list.
No, he don't got Illinois.
Yeah, I don't know why he don't.
You don't know why.
Yeah, he need to add a 13.
But he's been out west. He did an unofficial visit with USC. Okay, he's done an unofficial visit with Georgia Tech. All right, and today, like the first week of, again, September, you have schools, you have programs and colleges that are able, by the way, he also played in the Mamba Invitational. He played,
He sure did.
He's been all over. But today, and again, I'm not going to say it's solely him, but it's hard to see why it wouldn't be him that they came for. Because he had them on the list. Arkansas was there this morning, bright and early. Kentucky, Oregon, Southern Cal, Georgia Tech. All those schools were there early to go see him play. Go see him work out. Okay? Again, he does what he has to do, and he continues into the season what he did over the summer with Knight Riders, it would be difficult to not see him win a state championship.
Yeah, I didn't look at that angle. The angle, I didn't look by him playing on the Knight Riders and learning how to win, because that makes so much sense. That makes so much sense, man. That learning how to win, I didn't even see that angle. Like, and I think we're gonna see a different player, because, like, I'm trying to figure out how I could put this. We're gonna see a different Caleb Wilson, because, like, as I'm listening to you saying this and how I'm seeing his progression, and then you have me look at a different point of view, we're gonna see something very different, something special on different nights. They're gonna win different ways because of him, and it's not gonna always be the ball in his hand. That's what I really believe.
And he's got some good pieces around him. He has a good coach in Coach Mays, who is familiar with coaching kids who are of this caliber and this talent. He was the assistant coach for the current, NBA Finals MVP, Jaylen Brown. So he knows what this looks like. He knows what it's supposed to look like.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a coach who's not familiar with raising the stakes on high-profile kids.
Yep.
He knows this and knows how to do it. So I think, again, what we'll see is a level of, how would I say, maturity, a level of understanding, a level of knowing how to play. And when I say winning, I didn't mean, and I hope he doesn't take it, and then nobody takes it. I'm not taking shots at him, because the kid knows how to play.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes we always talk about, kids fill up stat sheets, people fill up stat sheets. That's important. Yes, it is important. But now when you know, okay, I don't have to average too many buckets here and there. I want to get what I want to get for my team to play and win. And again, they did a good job, meaning Homie Innocence players winning without him this summer. They gained their own level of confidence. Here's a kid, he shows up, and he's enrolled in school, and he's able to, he's buying in like he did before. But I think it's that different level. Like, now that code has been cracked of understanding, okay, there's levels to this. And that's what people won't understand, that there is levels to where you want to go.
Yeah, I think you're talking about. Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I think what you're talking about, to me, when you're talking about winning, no disrespect, what I take from that is one thing winning regular season games. You're talking about state playoffs and championships. What you really playing for, what you want.
Absolutely. Like, go get the big prize. Go get the prize that, it cements your legacy at the prep level. It's because and this is me, and I'm gonna verbalize it, because amongst my small circle of individuals that I would talk to about this, I felt that had they won last year, we might be talking about him being at another school.
Yep.
Because he would have cemented his legacy. You know what I mean? But when you're with the Knight Riders, who won at 15U, you know what I mean? They won 16U. They won 17U. It's like, that's never been done. So he cemented his legacy on the travel circuit with the Knight Riders.
Yep.
When you think about the only program in the history of the Nike EYBL to win 3, Knight Riders are it, and he was on one of those teams.
Yeah, I think a lot of players, we had some players in the past, I can't remember exactly who they are, but they didn't have the pro career they wanted to have. I can't remember the name, so it doesn't matter. I'm not putting them on blast, but they disrespected their state. They disrespected their home, how they did their recruitment and left. I can only think of all these players. I might think of some more later, and you might think of some right now. But all honesty, out of all the players came out of Georgia since I've been doing this, It's only 2 players right now can have a career after basketball and eat off Georgia. A career after basketball. That's Jaylen Brown if he wanted to. He could write his ticket anywhere in this state because he did it the right way. He actually allowed Georgia and Georgia Tech to recruit him. Actually gave him an honest chance to recruit him, and then he did it the right way. And then the other person, the guy we talking about now, Caleb Wilson. So like people are missing the boat. Like even these guys are gonna have real good careers, but man, when you used to live in a certain kind of lifestyle, I know that's putting the cart in front of the horse, and then you get down everything, and the money not the same, but you need to keep it up. A lot of these players miss the boat on that when they're doing that. They know they burn their bridge as they cross it. And then they really don't have the marketability to come back and do that. Because that's one thing I've been very, like, chomping at the bit for. I see all these players coming in and out and they good, and they don't market themselves well after their career. They could come back and make money in the media game doing the Hawks game, or Georgia Tech games or whatever. It's like, but you know what I'm getting at. They just missed that boat, and then they screw when they get older.
There's a program called Beyond the Bench, you know what I mean, where their foundation is set to be able to prepare athletes beyond basketball, being on the bench, beyond that part. And they do go to Holy Innocents regularly. So I don't disagree with you. I think he's got a great chance to excel and elevate himself into a darling outside of the hard, I think he's going to have, certainly depending on the program he decides on, but I think he'll be at a program that once given the ball or allowed to play, and they just continue to sharpen what he does, then it becomes even better. It becomes where now we're just polishing this tremendous jewel. We're making sure we're still, because again, I think he's a tremendous talent who, the more polished he's become, the more dangerous he becomes, especially in today's NBA game.
Yep.
6'10" with skills, be able to see the floor, rebound, scores the basket, inside, outside. And again, when that level of maturity clicks, listen, sky's the limit. Sky's the limit.
Yep. I think he's very marketable too. I think he, not to take a shot at I'm not, my boy know what my heart is with him, but JB marketable. He just outspoken, so they don't like that. That's the difference between those two. He has a great personality.
What it is with Jaylen Brown, not as much as he's outspoken, they can't control his mind, because he's able to speak what he does, okay? Because there's nothing Jaylen Brown has done that's been controversial. Let's go ahead and talk about that. I mean, he was the youngest VP of the NBA Players Association. So he obviously has a mind, okay? He was taking master level classes at Cal. So it's
intern at NASA.
Yeah, and learning how to play the guitar, talking Spanish, again, thinking the game, because so many people when he got drafted were like, oh, he won't be able to dunk on everybody every time in the NBA, and I'm like, you're right. He at some point is going to develop his game. He's got nothing but time to do so.
They underestimated him.
So the fact that he sees and he's a self-thinker, that's what intimidates the NBA.
He's not outspoken as they think he is. I think when he retires, it's going to be told. I think he's going to be a little bit more different. It's not going to be nothing new to us, but he outspoken, but he got sense. So he don't say anything on his mind. He know what to say and when to say it. And one thing he do that I have no gift of doing this. He's very tactful on what he say. So he could say something and he could code it a certain way. If you smart enough to get what he's saying, getting the gist, you could really see like, man, like how he handled Josiah, the Brooklyn owner, how they try to railroad Kyrie and then try to get Jalen caught up, and how he tactfully he answered that question and had asked the media to do their homework before you start jumping on Kyrie. You probably need to be looking at this man right here. And that caused a lot of YouTubers to go do research and did videos on it. Like, dang, we didn't know this about the Brooklyn owner. So, like, there's little things like that. That dude, he's so sharp and quick on his feet. And another thing before you go ahead.
It's a game.
Uh-huh.
I know this because of just conversations with similar people that we both know.
Mm-hmm.
He's a reader. He's an intellect.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's someone who, again, when the NBA feels like, oh, you're not vested enough in the game that they're concerned about drafting, it's like, no. He is invested in the game. He is a student of the game. He understands what this is going to do for him. And the way he expresses himself, because I hate using sometimes the word of articulation,
Mm-hmm.
the way he expresses himself isn't a cookie cutter response, isn't a level of passivity. He's direct. He knows what he's talking about. Okay, and he explains it. I mean, let's even just use the fact of the NBA Finals. A lot of people didn't think he was winning the Eastern Finals MVP. Okay, he picked that up. Then I was having arguments with people like, yo, the only reason they're not going to give him the NBA Finals MVP because he is outspoken, because he is different, because he is something that the NBA doesn't want to quote unquote market. But they had no other choice.
Yep.
Guess what? Numbers don't lie. Production don't lie.
Word.
You know, and those are the things that people just can't wrap their heads around that. And for him to win it and to win, and here's the thing, this is where he's cold-blooded. He sat there, accepted the award, and never disparaged the NBA. Never disparaged anyone. He handled it with class. He handled it at a high level that everybody was like, oh, I didn't know, but here we are. Those who have been around him, those who are within their circle, they know that that's who he is. They know that that's who he is, and he's going to articulate himself. And I use the word I hate it, but he's going to express himself in a manner that is going to befuddle people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's going to confuse people. It's going to have people go, okay, maybe I may need to do some research. And when they do, like, oh, he isn't just talking crazy, as they want to label.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually talking
Character assassination. That's what the media love doing.
Correct. But again, because he did what he did, he got the max the year before he got the MVP. Let's talk about that. Got the max the year before he got the title. Then they came back and won the title, and he decides to go ahead and sweep both MVP awards. Who does that?
Jaylen Brown. I call him a virus. He don't like his nickname. He didn't like. I said you got to understand. This what you. A virus is violent and attack. It do a snake. I like this come out of nowhere and it just take over. I said every level you've been on, that's what you have been doing. If you look at the definition of a virus, your game has done that. And he like, nah, I don't like that. he like, I don't respond to that one. You can do what you want to do on that one, but nah, I don't like that name. You got to come up with another nickname on that. On that man, but yeah, man.
I just know when I look at Caleb, I see how he's continuously to mature. I'll make a trip down to Holy Innocents to see him work out, and I just know by how he's being surrounded by his coaching staff there, his parents, you know, Swain. Obviously, there's people at Clutch that are certainly going to give him some good guidance. He's a young man that is going to represent the state well.
Yes.
And he's going to certainly leave an impact that people are going to know he was here.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And for Holy Innocents himself, they all wish and hope that it's a state championship. But let's say he doesn't, he's still going to represent Georgia well, because wherever he goes, he's going to, and again, he's going to have the opportunity to be a one and done.
Yes.
You know, and that's if they don't change any rules between now and then. But he's going to have the opportunity to be a one and done. And when he is, again, he's going to come back from, he worked his tail off.
Yep.
He worked his tail off. He's not a guy that it was handed to him. Every time I look up, he's in somebody's gym working out.
Yeah, he all over. He be all over. He like Jaylen Brown. He be all over the country having people train him. He just don't stick one. He get pushed by a lot of people.
And I'm gonna say this, similar to Jaylen Brown, because he obviously got into Cal. Caleb is a superb student, like superb student. Because again, these schools wouldn't be chasing you, but certainly, when I've spoken to him, I think at one point, if he wasn't a 4.0, he was like a 3.95. So he's a superb student. So again, once he cracks a code, which every teenager, every young person goes through, is that level of maturity? Oh, it's a game over.
Yep. But man, it's always a pleasure, man. We've been on for 40 minutes on here, and it don't even seem like we've been on for 10 minutes, man. We go on, man, on and on about this, man. When this pick up a little bit more steam, the fans will let me know, man, because I want to do a live show with call-ins on Sundays from what happened a week. Any school, you can talk about your school, or I'll come call in and we talk about and just give our take on the week on that on Sundays. I want to do that sometime in the future. That's my goal. But man, I really appreciate you coming on, man, giving good insight. I'm glad you don't have me feeling like I'm crazy, too close to the kid. Because that's why I was telling people, I don't want anybody Illinois recruits now. I don't give evaluation if somebody asks me, because I'm so skewed. I'm just like, oh, he got it. He the best thing ever because he going to that school. So I just leave it alone now, especially Chicago players. They ask me about a Chicago player, man. What I'm going to do is direct you to somebody else, because I'm terrible about those two things right there. I can't evaluate good. I'd be too partial on that.
I get that. But sometimes we get so close to things. We got to remember, hey, let's take a step back and look at the big picture, and what it could be.
Yep, man. So, man, you got any new articles, anything on there?
There's a few different things. There's a few, the month of September is elite camp season. There's a few of them going on across the state of Georgia. You certainly have something down in Florida. Just working on a few commitment stories and on baselinetosideline.com. Certainly look, as you can see, my Twitter handle, BTS_report. Looking to always get information out. Definitely my goal this year is to improve my IG content on BTS Report. But outside of that, man, just looking to really dive in further into this 2025 class. See where some of these athletes are going. Because I think what you're going to find even a trend on is a lot of guys solidifying their commitment to a school early. And that's something that, again, in this day and age with the way things are, if you have something available, and again, take it. With some of these guys in the top 10 and maybe even the top 25, yeah, they could wait a little bit because, they're the exception to the rule sometimes. But sometimes it's always good, as myself and a few other coaches have spoken about in the past, you could have 30 programs who are recruiting you. You only can go to one.
Yep.
And you only can build a relationship with one or two. So, a genuine relationship.
Mm-hmm. I know what you mean.
And then just basically go from there with it. So, but man, I appreciate it as always for having me on.
Yep. When you're doing these commitments, man, when you talk to these players, man, they ever want to announce a commitment live or pre-recorded on the podcast, they always jump on with us, man. And if they want to do cut down lists, all that stuff, man. I don't know.
I will certainly look to make that happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it gotta be. It gotta be. It could be a Division III. We cover basketball.
No question.
On that. All right, man. Till next time, man. Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you.
Uh-huh.
Peace.
All right, peace, brother.
This is Caleb Banks, and you are listening to License to Ball.
This is Trent Markwith with Relentless Hoops, and you're listening to License to Ball.
This Coach Washington, head coach at Pebblebrook High School. You are listening to License to Ball.
You're tuned into the hottest prep basketball podcast, License to Ball, where certified ballers play. Leave us a rating and review. Don't touch that dial. Who am I kidding? This is the internet. Keep rocking with License to Ball. And now back with your host, Hip Hop.
Welcome back from break. Man, Fonz, man, that dude's good, man. So we got a long segment, but we got to get it in. You don't watch the whole thing, don't watch the whole thing. It's all good, man. Watch what you want to watch. On here, we got some good insight on my man. Got some real good insight on my man, so watch what you want to watch. We got Evan Tums coming up next. Before then, we got a segment we add back on My Big Eagle. And Caleb Wilson going to be joining the show on My Big Eagle. So, no further delay, we're going to bring on Caleb Wilson. My Big Ego, bring him on. I just want everybody to know, I read the press clippings. I'm online. I follow everybody. I got my ear to the streets. I see what people say about me, good or bad. Everything you say about me pushes me every day. Get up at 5:30, 4 o'clock in the morning and work out. I know a lot of people around the way, like hip hop from Gymratinsider, did a lot of things and said a lot of things positive about me and disagree with some of my moves. But I knew what I was doing. I know it was in my heart. So I hope guys like him respect what I'm doing and showing I'm making right moves and rewriting the landscape on how you get this done in basketball. It's a new era. And I think a lot of these guys used to the old era. And it's a new era how you do things with NIL and new deals and things like this, and how basketball is growing and how youth is growing the sport and how we growing the sport. So no disrespect. I appreciate what y'all doing. I understand y'all seeing things like this. And they always say ridicule is the burden of geniuses. So I do these things to better my game. And I've been making good moves out here, signing with Clutch Sport, not leaving my city behind, putting my city on my back and doing these things, man. So I just want to make my city proud. I'm just a kid from Georgia and trying to do things like Jaylen Brown, man. How he did it when he was here, was a star, and I'm trying to follow in his footsteps and do these things, man. It's just my inner conscience talking. I'll never say these things out loud or press. Just in my head right now, My Big Eagle. Till next time, man. You'll see me soon in a gym near you. This is Caleb Wilson, and I'm out. Up next, we got Evan Tums from Draft.net coming on the show. last time he was on here, man, we had some real good chemistry on there. This bomb burned about this Caleb Williams debate going on. He gonna bring a little bit more insight because here in Georgia, we are. I got to admit, we're a little bit partial because we've been seeing the kids since 7th and 8th grade, and he here, and we get to see him a lot. So we're gonna bring Evan in to either talk us off the ledge and say, "Nah, you know we're near the ledge, and you're correct on this." So we're gonna hear his analysis and all this stuff, and so we're gonna go ahead and bring him in and introduce him into the show, and bring him in.
All right, thanks for having me.
So y'all can sit here and ask me all the questions y'all want to. I'm going to answer with the same answer, so y'all can shoot if y'all please. I'm here so I won't get fined.
What's going on, man? How's it going?
It's good. How are things with you?
Oh man, I can't complain at all, man. It been a blessing, man. I got to watch a lot of basketball this year. I went a lot of places. I went a lot more places. I didn't go like far out, but I went to more places and check out more stuff. So it worked out pretty good, man. What about you?
It's been slow this time of year. Early in the summer, I went to all the EYBLs and Top 100 camp and all that. But now I get to put everything together for the scouting reports and get all the profiles updated for the season starts. So slow and busy time of year.
Yep. And I was talking to you off air. The viewers didn't get to hit us. Y'all have great analysis on y'all website on NBADraft.net. Y'all, a lot of y'all probably checking it out already. I wouldn't be surprised if you're not, but it's real accurate. I'll go there to double check myself. I've been going there for years. I didn't know it's the same website. I didn't put two and two together till you sent me some stuff when we was talking about this, man. So the elephant in the room, Caleb Wilson. I feel Caleb Wilson is the number 2 player in the country. I don't think it's one player better than him in that 2025 class, and everybody agree who the number 1 player is. And the reason why I think that, man, is his upside, his versatility. He play all over the floor. He play both ends of the play. He's a two-way player, like they like to say. And I think the sky's the limit. I think what we're seeing, he's only going to get better. He's only going to get better, man. So, and I think a lot of people are looking at, especially Boozer, the last name and his dad played in the league, so they getting like drowning out by that because they looking at what his dad did. Don't get me wrong, Cameron Boozer is a great player, great high school player and all that. I'm not trying to knock him. I just don't think he's better than Caleb Wilson, man. So that's what I'm saying, and that's what I'm seeing. I just think it's more. I think it's more upside. And then with Cameron, I think Cameron's more of a polished player now than Caleb is on that. That's how I feel. So I go more in depth on how I feel, man. So by me saying that, what do you feel? Tell me where you think I'm wrong at or where I'm right at.
I think 2 is higher than I have him. We have him in the top 5. I think we have him at 4 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Darren Devansa at 1, Peterson at 2, and then Cameron Boozer at 3.
Mm-hmm.
My notes on scouting, I won't go word for word, but things I like, things I want him to get better at. So versatile forward, good size and good length for his position. He's very mobile, well coordinated, natural athlete. His shooting range extends to the 3-point line, and he shoots it high. He's hard to contest. He shows a mid-range fadeaway. What I really like about him is he sees the floor and passes well. I mean, he'll thread the needle in out of the high post and half court situations. And his ability to see plays ahead of time at his size at that age is pretty tough to match. He knows where his cutters are, his teammates are, a good rebounder, block shots pretty well. Things I want him to get better at is he's got a strong frame. He's going to get stronger. I want him to continue to fill out and to just be stronger with the ball. I think he could utilize mismatches better because he's got a mismatch. I think he could overpower rather than finish with finesse a lot more, and just finding easier ways to score, being more efficient. He settles for outside shots. I think the foundation's there. I think he could tweak some things with the shot. He shoots it a little flat sometimes, but for it to really be a weapon at the next level, I really want that consistency to improve, as well as free throws. He can put the ball on the floor a bit. I'm not saying he can't. He can definitely dribble, but he really isn't getting by a lot of guys with this handle. He can get loose when picking up speed. He can work on expanding his post game. That kind of goes into utilizing his mismatches more. And there's too often I think he blends in more than he should. More than his talent suggests. There was times watching him, and specifically, I remember in Memphis at the EYBL, he's playing against All Ohio, and All Ohio's not a great team, and he was getting scored on just from his guy out playing harder than him. So I'd like to see him tighten up there. I do worry about his defense guarding perimeter players at the next level. He's shown some discomfort switching direction. I think he probably doesn't have quite ideal low center of gravity and hip flexibility to defend guards at the highest level. I think you're going to see some. I'm not saying like he can't, but he's so just putting that together. But that's him. That's him. My thoughts.
Yeah, I think it's very accurate. It's some things I've seen, but it's some things you've seen, but you don't realize you've seen. Him, he's gonna tell me too. He's gonna probably comment. He's gonna watch this. I don't know. He's gonna watch this whole thing. I don't know if his family can probably watch it. He's gonna watch the whole thing. A lot of stuff you talk about, I know he's very aware of because I have seen him working on it. Like he been more focused on his 3-point shot this year, and you could tell. He been in the weight room a little bit more. He put on. I'm going to speak for him right now, just looking and watching him over the years and developing. So I'm going to say he easily has put on 5 pounds of muscle in the past 4 months. He's working out. What I like about this kid and listening, and you kind of taught me out the edge a little bit. You kind of taught me out the edge a little bit on that. But what I think, my phone going off. Kind of talking about the edge a little bit. So reevaluating it long term, I feel he'd be better. He'd be number 2 out of that class long term. I can accept where y'all have him at. I think potential wise long term he'd be better. Like you said, taking off the dribble. I agree that I think that's actually. I think taking this guy off the dribble is his number 1 weak spot, like in his game, like a hole in his game on the offensive end. I think that's one of his weakest spots is taking a man off the dribble and using that mismatch size advantage on the guy a little on him. And what you were saying, like on defense, guarding people on perimeter, I think he's capable of doing it. I don't know if it's like you said. I don't know if it's going to be a strong point. But when he get around more guys where he have to defend like that, I think he's going to step up to the challenge and develop that, get better. And paying on the Night Riders, it was a blessing and curse for me personally because it was a lose-win at the same time because the type of player he is, he got drowned out on that team. He's the type of player I've seen him play. He's good with the ball in his hand, and he played off the ball so much in that he had to adjust his role. But I say that to me, that's a compliment to his game. How he still was successful, and he wasn't playing the strong point of his game with the ball in his hand. He's ball dominant, but not in a bad way because if he has the ball, he shares the wealth on that. So I didn't really like him playing on that team. I know he really, really wanted to play in the EYBL. I don't know if that was exactly ideally team plan for him because it kind of like made him look crazy a little bit. Not where I know what he could do. He might know what to do, but it's not showing to you know, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I actually really liked him on that team. There were there were times he was not as involved, but he was able to do more by keeping it simple when he was, and I really like that about.
I really like that about. Yeah, I ain't see a lot of the games, so I'm not gonna tell you. I watch a whole bunch of games. I don't think they utilize him ideally like they should have on that team either. I think they left a lot on the table. But then you go, hey, how you left a lot on the table? They won the EYBL. So even they won, I think they could even use him better. I mean, I don't think they went undefeated, so I think they could use him better, man. But like, we going back and forth and we debating about two guys gonna be in the NBA. We're really splitting hairs, and it's really about who you. When it comes to 2 years from now, it's gonna come to what player do you like, you feel comfortable with, and how your roster already looking on that. So, and that's a ways away, and a lot of things change from now, man. But that's a good problem to have. I'm saying he 2. You and National Writer saying he 4. I mean, you can't really go wrong. You can't really go wrong with that. And then you saying something on defensive end. You like to see him do better on the defensive end. What was that again?
Defending the perimeter.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Direction.
I think that go hand in hand. I think that was. He's getting up to elite status. So just like taking some out the driven perimeter, I think those two things kind of go hand in hand. Why he's weak in that area, he gets strong in the area because it's being asked of him more now. Because like here in Georgia, when he played most of the games in Georgia, he's not gonna have that issue because nobody's gonna be challenging him on either ends of the court at the perimeter. So when he go play the elite games and the elite teams or go play the U.S. Olympic team, that stuff shows up then because he's not really getting it developed. But I don't know if I told you last time I started. This dude is for real. He real special. And I haven't have him. This is the first time ever I had a special feeling about 2 players within 2 years ever. Last time I had a feeling about a player like this was Jaylen Brown. But now, in 2 years back to back, I had Ace Bailey and Caleb Wilson. That these dudes, they just different. They special. There's something about them. They're special. And I give you something to like really show me where Caleb Wilson's head is. It was 3 years ago when he was playing for Anthony Edwards' team. And I was talking to him in the gym. I said, you know what you remind me of? I said, you remind me of a modern day Scottie Pippen. And he kind of heard of Scottie Pippen, but he wasn't familiar with Scottie Pippen. And he's like, he looked at me kind of sideways. Said, oh, okay, all right. So he's a young kid. I'm just thinking he's a young kid, blah, blah, blah. So I have him 2 days on later on the podcast. I don't know if I brought it up again or he brought it up. He said, after you told me, I did my homework on Scottie Pippen. I said, you did? He said, yeah, I went to go watch video on YouTube of Scottie Pippen since you said I mind your modern day Scottie Pippen. I was like, yeah, I think so, because of how versatile you are. And I could see when you really put your mind to it, you could be a lockdown defender when you really like work on it with his length and linkiness and all that. And then how he's a point forward and Scottie Pippen was a point forward. I don't think Scottie Pippen was utilized right for the Bulls didn't use him right either. I think he could have played so much better. So he was talking about, he said, man, I didn't realize how good that dude was. He said, man, that's an honor for you to say my game is like him. So he really did the homework. He just didn't watch videos. He actually went online and like read articles and read stories about Scottie Pippen. And like that me saying that to him, and he took spare time and being a gym rat and doing that. I said, it's something about that, because the last time a kid I know of that did stuff like that was Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown used to go and watch. Like if I interview him or somebody else interview him, he'll go watch the interview and critique himself. That's why you saw him in the league, and it's like you can't really trap the kid, and he looks so sharp with an interview because in high school the whole time he was training himself on being a professional athlete, which is crazy. When you in high school, you practicing the interviews and getting questions right, and you're going back and watching tape of the interviews on that. So I didn't see too many kids ever did that, man. I don't know your take on that.
Yeah, tangibles are important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they're gonna invest a lot of money in you, and you got to represent the team correctly. They don't want you lighting up first take and have you pull you in the office before practice. Hey man, you put that online? Or you said that to that guy on the interview? What are you thinking? So they like to see that because they doing their homework more and more on these kids, and they using people like you as a cheat sheet to figure out what these kids doing and all that stuff. So they really being real creative, man. Real creative, man. But man, before you get out of here, man, you got anything else you want to share? Anything else we didn't cover about this kid, anything like that? And I think he's going to North Carolina.
Okay.
I have a hunch. He didn't tell me this. I just have a hunch he's going to North Carolina. That's what I think. We'll see.
3 years ago, he reminded you of a Scottie Pippen, young modern day Scottie Pippen.
Mm-hmm.
Is that who he still reminds you of?
Not too much anymore now. I don't know who he remind me of now. Nah, I still see traits of it, but not as much anymore. No, no, because he's too. I hate to say this because Scottie is all time great, but even at his young age now, I think he's more explosive than Scottie Pippen was. A lot of these players more athletic than a lot of these players in the past was. Now it's like not a big secret, but it's kind of crazy saying that he in high school, but. Just him being more explosive, nah. But the part of thing, because the other parts of his game wasn't developed. So I'm thinking this out of my head while you ask me this question. And main reason why I said that is because the strong points of his game was he's a big guard, wing type player that played point forward and was hooking players up and playing pretty good defense at the time. That's why I said that. Now he has added even more stuff onto his game since then. So I had to really sit down and see who he really remind me of now. But at that time, he reminded me of Scottie. Not as much anymore because his game has evolved even more since then. Makes sense?
Yeah.
On that. Who he remind you of nowadays? You seen him play more this year than I have.
He reminded me of Jarris Walker.
Jarris Walker. You gotta help me. You gotta remind me. You gotta freshen my memory on him. Who is that?
He's one and done out of Houston. He's rookie for Pacers last year. So yeah, played at IMG Academy. Yeah.
Played at IMG Academy. Yeah.
You played for Houston.
Yep.
Okay, I seen him play. I like Houston. I like their program. I think they got a great program. Oh, they building up a good program. That's why I thought it was a good idea for what's my guy's name there? Chase McCarty. I thought that was good for him to go to Houston. I think he's gonna do real good there. He's gonna be coached up real good. I can see that. I can see that. But I think Kid a little bit more versatile than him though. What you think?
Pretty accurate, yeah.
And I think he's a little bit more explosive than he is.
He might be. He might be.
But that's a good comp. That's a good comp. That dude's good. That dude's good. I watched him play in the March Madness tournament. That dude's good. Houston gonna get them a ship before sooner than later, man. I do not like playing them, man. My team is University of Illinois. I don't like playing them. I'm not. When anybody else play Houston, I'm like, oh, good luck. Especially in a one and done situation. Good luck. Samson, he's doing a great job recruiting. I think that him getting not banned, but put on probation in college back in Indiana days and force him going to the league, actually, I think really helped him out because I think it really showed him how to evaluate players because, like, if you notice the players he recruit now, he recruits certain type of players, and they're not players that he can win the recruitment on too. It's not players that everybody is like, oh man, I gotta get that guy. You gotta get that guy. Everybody just fighting over the guy. He see a player that got good game, got good potential, and can fit his system, man. On that. What's your take on that?
Pretty accurate. Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you funny enough. Okay, Samson's son, I think he's the assistant head coach over there. And so he was, before his dad took the Houston job, he used to be in Atlanta a lot recruiting. And so I'm into basketball and all this stuff. And I see his last name, but I didn't know that's his dad. And I ain't put two and together with the last name. And he kept saying dad. And he kept saying it to me when he be talking to me on the phone or in the gym. Kept saying to me like, he just knew I knew his father, because he was right. I did know his father. I didn't know that's his father though. So he kept telling me, man, I feel stupid. I'm embarrassed because he know I know his dad, but I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Like who's his father? He keeps saying his father, and like, does his father even coach basketball? Because he never said it in like a basketball. He just said reference like stuff like I remember saying he told me his dad said, he didn't tell me not to say this, so I'm gonna say this. He said dad always used to say people worried about who can help them all the time, and you really need to be worried about who could hurt them. And when he told me that, I never forgot that. I know that was Calvin Sampson. His father told him that. And then I see him, this high the epiphany. I'm watching the Houston game, and I go, oh, damn, Sampson got a job with Houston. So, oh, Sampson. I say, oh, damn, I feel so stupid. That's his father. I'm like, yeah, you got to keep up, man. Oh, no, man, this basketball world is a small world. You think it's big, but it really ain't. It's really 1 degree separation. You know somebody. If I know somebody you don't know, you know somebody who don't know who knows that player, man. On that, man. It's a pleasure having you on, man. It really is, man. Your analysis is good, and I know how I know your analysis is good. I'm gonna tell you how this analysis is good. Because if I like a player, and then I'm sold on the player, and then people be telling me stuff, and especially and your analysis is good, and you breaking down like. I want to say truthful. I can't say facts because it's all what we're saying is opinion. Yo, truth, and it's saying I'm getting mad when you saying like, oh, I'm getting mad like I'm Kayla's father or something, like you how you breaking down this game. But I'm like, listen, like I'm visualizing my head the stuff, the deficiencies. I'm like, dang, he right. That's why I don't like evaluating nobody I like, because I'll miss things. Like like I get present. Anybody that Illinois is recruiting. I don't waste my time talking about him, because as soon as they recruit him, he good, and I can't see no flaws in him. I just see all the good side. Like I just leave it alone. That in Chicago players, I don't even evaluate them because I can't get an accurate assessment. I don't know at all. I can't really get an I'm too partial to him. So when you were saying the things, I'm looking like, damn, he right. Like, damn, he right about that too. So because that's how I knew you were spot on, because everything I already had assessment agreed on, you said. Then the stuff that I didn't look at because I like him, and I'm thinking like, yeah. He telling the truth. Yeah, he telling the truth. I don't want to hear it. I want him to say, man, you right, man. He need to be timber too. We need to fix this. But it is what it is, man.
An interesting fact about, if we're comparing Boozer and Caleb, they both have the same birthday, but Boozer's a full year younger.
He a full what younger?
Year younger.
Oh man, that's crazy, man.
Yeah,
Numerology, man. Numerology is okay. I actually started to like Boozer even better than I do. I like Boozer. I like him. I started to like him even more. I didn't know he's that young.
Yeah.
And his brother. So it sounds like they might not be playing together, because Illinois has a premonition that they could get the Caden. So they might not be playing together. I think they shouldn't. They're not gonna be playing together in the league, so they might start getting used to it now. If you got a better situation, for either one of them playing in different schools. They millionaires, man. They can fly on a plane and go watch all the kids, man. That's just not it's not like you and me. Got to pay a last minute $700 plane ticket. That ain't nothing for Carlos. Carlos, he stepped on $700 on the way down to get a bagel out of the kitchen. But yeah, man, tell everybody how they can find your stuff and what new articles you got out, man, before you get up out of here.
Yeah, NBAdraft.net. I do the majority of the high school stuff on there. You can follow me on Twitter at Evan Toms, EVANTOMES, and keep looking for my scouting reports. I'll be coming out with them somewhat regularly, working on the incoming one and done projected freshmen, and then I'll be doing some of the high school seniors shortly after.
Yeah, you get at me at those things. So I'll retweet them out, man. Okay. And that keep me. Then I could be making me easier. I could look at your stuff quicker and faster. I'll retweet that stuff, man. Cause you do good work, man. Man, a lot of these guys, man, they just be putting out stuff. They always putting out stuff. So, all right, man. Till next time, man. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
All right, man. You welcome, man. Now everybody can see. Talk me off the ledge. My feelings hurt. I want him to say at least 3. I'm a real big Caleb Williams fan, but it makes sense to me. I had to concede Caleb gonna get mad at me because I know he's gonna be watching this. I had to agree he has you ranked correctly right now, but I still think long term you have a higher upside than Mr. Boozer. But as of right now, he has your ranking. I had to. Is accurate. It's accurate because he broke it down and I seen you play and he was being honest. So that's why I wanted him on. I wanted a national person on here. Don't live in Georgia. Won't be partial to Georgia players, but stuff like this, you hear this stuff, brother. I already know it's gonna make it easier before you're gonna wake up before your alarm clock. Waking up at 5:30 in the morning. Doing these regimens before you even get to school, working up a sweat. So they're just gonna keep you going and all this stuff and motivate you. But I had to bring him on to see if I was cuckoo or spot on. So I think I'm right there. I'm on the fence. I'm not cuckoo or spot on, right down the middle. I had a little bit of right, a little bit wrong, man. But till next time, y'all, appreciate y'all watching. So if you're hearing what I'm saying right now, you stayed to the end of the podcast, and we appreciate that. So that means you must love it. And if you ghost watching, we're going to need you to subscribe and like and share. Because most people who ghost watch won't let people know they like it or retweet or repost. But please do. And I'm going to misquote Cam Newton. You should do it anyway while you're watching and you stay to the end because it's free. And after you do all that, and we'll misquote them again, you might like it. It don't cost you anything, man. You share with somebody else, and they might see something they like and keep it going. And so, Evan has great articles, great rankings. He has rankings. He has the next 2 drafts up. I think he has 2025 class. They draft status, and then in 2026, the next following year. And they got accurate scouting reports and stuff on that, man. So I stay on the website and look at stuff right there and just keep me sharp and abreast. And I didn't even realize I'm looking at the website. My man's putting stuff on. Even I knew he had a website. I didn't realize looking at the stuff, man. But till next time, y'all. Peace.